Okay, this is Nick Houston here for Gotham Sound and Communications, here with the commissioner of the Gotham City PD, James Gordon. He's never heard that joke before, and certainly not 5 times in the last 3 minutes. Anyway, James Gordon from Audiotonix, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's great to be here today. And I have had the Commissioner Gordon joke before, but I did think I was going to get it today with you guys.
Very good. Well, I get Houston, we have a problem a lot, so there we go. All right, so Audiotonix and Sound Devices, parent company.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what Audiotonix does and how you came across Sound Devices and kind of give us the whole thing.
Okay, so Audiotonix likes to invest in companies that are premium brands, good quality equipment. A lot of care and passion has gone into the stuff that they design and manufacture. And when we saw some of the stuff that Sound Devices were doing, it just seemed a natural fit for us. You know, we obviously have a lot of mixing console brands within the group, and a lot of the challenges you face when you're location recording are the same. You're just mixing in a much smaller environment. So it seemed like a natural fit for us. We met with Matt and John and met some of the team and decided it was the right sort of company for us to invest in. And Audiotonix does it a little bit differently. We don't just buy brands and merge them all together. We're basically there to support them with their own aspirations and help them hopefully improve and do more things in the future. You know, we have over 250 R&D engineers across the group, very much focused on technology and where that's going and how that technology can be shared around the companies and the brands that are within the group. So hopefully you'll see some more output of some cool stuff from Sound Devices in the coming months and years. Obviously, we saw their RF stuff, which I think you've been talking to Gary about today. They've made a start on some pretty amazing stuff, and what's coming in the future, I think, is going to be even more inspirational, actually. So,
Okay. Do you have a preview of
No, I
something?
don't do previews. Come on. I'd get shot. Matt's over there.
That's true.
No, I don't do previews. But I have to say that's the real thing. We love cool brands within the market that we can understand.
And what are the other brands that you know?
Okay, so originally I started with DigiCo, which is very famous for live sound. You know, it's big on all the world stage events, touring, Broadway, that side of things. And the company got to a certain size where we felt we might get swallowed up by a bigger company and maybe the culture would change. And that led us basically to become what we feared, which was to become a bigger company and invest in adding brands. And the first ones we added were Allen Heath and DigiCo. Subsequently, we've added Klang as well, which is a really cool immersive in-ear system. Solid State Logic's quite a recent addition. They joined us 3-4 years ago, I think.
Okay.
And obviously now Sound Devices. And we also have Group One in the US, which is our distribution company for some of the brands in the US market.
Yeah, you had mentioned before that you're not packaging everybody to have it all go through the same way. Like,
no, far from it. I mean, it's incredibly unusual for us to have one distributor in the market with 2 of the brands, let alone all of the brands. And what we really want is the best distributors and dealers for the individual brands, because they're better connected to their market, they know what their customers need, and then we get better feedback too. You know, we can put that knowledge we learn back into our products and hopefully make better products for you guys in the future as well.
And you mentioned earlier that you were DigiCo. How did you come up with the name Audiotonix?
So when you start a new company, we didn't want it all to be DigiCo, because if we'd have done that, then it would have looked like it was a sort of a takeover. So we had to come up with a new name. As the first 2 brands were mixing consoles, and tonics in England are mixers. They're what you put with your vodka or your gin or whatever. So we thought Audiotonix was quite funny. It's like an audio mixer. It was a Sunday afternoon. I'd had a long lunch.
Maybe a few tonics there.
There was more red wine probably
red
at
wine.
that time,
Okay.
but yeah, it was definitely alcohol fueled as a decision. But it's catchy and it works. It's just an umbrella. There are, I think, 11 employees for Audiotonix.
Okay.
Everybody else works for the brands. It's all about the brands. Audiotonix is just the framework that holds it all together at the top.
Do you find with the current environment, because everybody talks about, there's these chip shortages and this, that, and the other thing, do you find that having an umbrella of companies together that it kind of helps to coordinate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we go into buying discussions with some of the component manufacturers, we're going in as Audiotonix with all of the brands behind. And that way it allows us to obviously use our full buy power to hopefully secure parts. At this moment in time, it's very hard. I mean, it's everything from large-scale FPGAs right the way down to cardboard and black powder coat paint, frankly, at the moment. So our ops teams in all of the brands are having to work really, really hard to keep up with demand and getting the products out there. And we are doing our best, but it's still a challenge. But definitely being part of a bigger thing helps with that, for sure.
And demand has been just through the roof. I mean, with all the content that's being provided, that's being generated after being locked down for so long.
Yeah, I think the world for all of the brands, the ones that have been in the live space have found it harder through the last 2 years, obviously. But now, everybody wants to go back out to live shows or theatre shows, and that side of the business has picked up. And as you guys all know from what you do, content is in such high demand right now that the sound devices business is doing incredibly well. But they make great products. I mean, they really do. One of the first things we got handed one when we went to look at them, and you look at the attention to detail and the way it's manufactured, and it gives you a very nice feeling that a lot of thought went into this product. And that's one of the reasons why we like the company and the brand so much.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, I'm going to just open it up to see if there are any questions, comments. Joe, you got any questions, comments there on the internet?
Yes, there is one. How do you balance the rise of competing platforms such as DLive, SD, SSL, etc.?
That's a very good question. Wow. We don't manage the brands in a way where we tell them what they can do or not do. And actually the workflow of each of the products is very different. So actually when Allen and Heath, you work with a DLive, the workflow, the operational control, the way the software functions is very different to how you would walk up to a DigiCo or an SSL. And I think that's the critical thing. They are loved by their users because of the way they work, and we want to keep that uniqueness about them. Allen and Heath and DigiCo have worked well together for 7-8 years now, probably. And the advantage with that is Allen and Heath covers such a wide range of products, from their Z analog range to Q and SQ, and then obviously their flagship, which is DLive. That's pretty much where DigiCo starts off. So there's a nice there is crossover, but not too much crossover. And then SSL, I mean, how they manage the verticals, they're obviously very strong in the music environment. They do a lot with broadcast, and obviously they have their live platform as well. Their live platform tends to get used by engineers that have worked in studios and like that workflow. So they sort of naturally fit together.
There's enough to go around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. You don't lose ever, you win each time, hopefully.
All right, Joe, anything else from the internet?
One more question, kind of a fun one. When will you be purchasing Autonate?
Autonate, that's a very good. They're actually floated on the Australian stock market, so I think we might have missed our moment on that one. But we do a lot with them across the brands. We also have AES67 formats, obviously for broadcast, and we've got AVB. So unfortunately, there's not one winner in the AOIP network yet. But it would have been nice to have owned them for sure. Certainly right now with some of the component shortages.
Oh boy, yeah. All right, Joe, going once, twice?
Just one more question. Any plans for deeper integration cross-platforms? Maybe DLive with sound devices or exploring those other types of opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's early days for that, actually. I mean, most of the brands end up, we have R&D calls where the heads of all the R&D teams talk about what they're working on and what collaboration or knowledge share they can pick up from each other. There isn't anything defined as yet, but I can imagine, obviously Sound Devices putting a lot of effort into their RF technology. DigiCo's very strong in musical theatre, Broadway. That's probably an opportunity that we should look at a bit more. And yeah, I mean, Houses of Worship market's very strong for Allen and Heath too. So I dare say there will be some form of closer link as time goes by, but it's the decision the brands make. It's not enforced by us. They've got to want to do it, and it's got to fit with their customer base. So never say never is what I would probably say.
Very good.
Certainly more chance of it now than there was a year ago.
Perfect. All right, Joe, anything else from the internet?
No, we are all good.
Very good.
Great, thanks very much. Very nice to meet you.
Commissioner, thank you so much. Audiotonix, James Gordon, Commissioner of Gotham City. Keep us safe. Watch this video and more on gothamsound.tv. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And as always, email us at info@gothamsound.com with any questions, comments, or anything else. Thank you
Great.
again.
Thanks very much, guys.
All right.